The story begins with a 16-year-old young man named Noir Stardia. He was born into a baronial family belonging to the nobility, but this family was poor. He was going to work in a library, but his father told him that the son of a rich nobleman had taken his place, so he could not work. He was disappointed. But suddenly his younger sister comes, and her name is Stardia. She said that she will not allow anyone to take her brother's place, and she also suggested him to join the Hero Academy. Upon graduation from this academy, you can become a monster hunter or a royal knight. She encouraged him to join and told him that he would pass the entrance exam. Then when he was walking alone on the street, a girl named Emma Brightness came to him. She was excited about working in the library with Noir, but Noir told her that he could not work because of a wealthy nobleman. She said that she carries good news about his skill. His skill is called the Great Sage. She tells the user everything about the world but causes him a strong headache in the head. So Emma told him that the Great Sage, once upon a time when he had that headache, he would ask his wives for some kisses in order to get rid of the pain. She suggested this to Noir. He was actually going to kiss her, but she felt ashamed and told him to go somewhere else. They went to another place and he kissed her. Then he used the sage skill. He asked him about the appropriate way in order to increase his strength and also in order to pass the entrance exam. The sage told him to discover one of the hidden labyrinths, and indeed he went. When he entered, he found a giant portal, so he read some spells in order to enter. When he was walking inside the maze, suddenly he heard a girl's voice, so he followed the source of the sound and actually found a witch. This woman's name is Olivia Servant, an adventurer who discovered this demon a long time ago, but suddenly she fell into one of the traps. She was tied up for 200 years. These restrictions are called death restrictions. When they are cut, Olivia will die. She gave him several skills, but he must maintain his life points so as not to die. Life points increase when satisfying oneself and desires. He experimented with the skill of creativity and actually managed to create a bullet using a stone. The next day he hugged Emma, but at the same time he tried a skill on her. He found out that her shoulders collapsed from fatigue. Emma went crazy, so he returned that thing to her using the modifier skill. The exam date has come. Adventurers must bring high-quality materials from monsters, so whoever comes back empty-handed will fail the exam. Everyone made fun of Noir because he is poor and does not belong to a wealthy noble family. But Emma comes and formed a team with him. He asked her to wait for him here. And actually he went to the 3rd floor of the Demas, but he was about to die. Because he found a soul reaper, he started fighting him. But this monster was very strong. But after a long fight he managed to defeat him using the creativity skill. He took his skull to the test and actually got the first place with a score of 128,000 points. Everyone was shocked by the power of Noir. The next morning he asked his father to give him 300,000 for the registration fee at the academy, but he was shocked by the amount because he does not even have a third. Noir was frustrated that he had to save this amount in a week, so he went to Olivia. She told him to catch the monsters that are here and sell them. So he went to the Adventurers Guild in order to work in it. There he met a girl named Lola Metros. She asked him to register, but he was shocked by her. He wrote down all his skills, but she didn't believe him, because these are the skills of one of the famous adventurers in this guild. Only Olivia is the only one who has these skills, so Lola brought a magic book that reveals the real skills that a person has, and also made a bet. And he was actually being honest, so she did a great thing and said, "I'm sorry, Noir-sama." And actually he became an adventurer, and he went on the first task, which was to collect some rare insects. He was able to find them quickly thanks to the skill of the sage, but he was hoping that Emma would be next to him, and she actually came rushing and threw a punch, but he avoided her. Then he kissed her in order to get rid of the headache, and then they returned to the guild, and he actually managed to collect 250,000. This is incredible. Lola liked him a lot, so she approached him a lot and gave him another task. This task is to eliminate some monsters, but Emma had a fight with Lola for Noir. But he stopped the fight and went with Emma on a new mission. But on the way they found 2 goblins, so they got into a fun fight with them. But suddenly a giant rabbit of level 24 appears in front of them. It's scary. She wants to defeat him alone, so she attacked him hard, but she couldn't and she fell to the ground. This monster almost destroyed her, but Noir saves her. Then they quickly went to hide. He began to think of a way to raise Emma's strength, but his life points are not enough, so he asked her to let him raise his life points by doing one of the things. And she actually agreed, and so he raised the points to 13-0, but the monster found them, so he raised Emma's strength and she actually managed to defeat him. They returned to the guild, ate grilled meat, and also he managed to raise the amount for the ordination, all thanks to his teacher Olivia. The next day is the first day of school, so Alice woke him up in the morning. After that, Noir went to the academy with Emma. After they kissed, they got in together, but the students are from noble families, so they despised Noir. A few moments later, a girl named Maria Fiona Albert, one of the most prestigious noble families in the country, Maria greeted Noir. He was surprised by this, but he was shocked when he found out that she had a powerful curse. This curse would kill her on her 16th birthday. Then they went for training. The teacher's name is Elma Stongs. She asked Noir to attack. He was shocked when he found out that her level is 232. She really was strong because she dodged the attack at a tremendous speed. Now it was Noir's turn to apply this technique, but he failed because she was fast. Then she told him that she would do something wonderful with him if he could successfully implement the technique. He got excited, so he used his skill to improve his speed and reaction, and actually he managed to dodge Elma's hit. She was surprised by that, and then she did this thing with him. He almost choked. All the boys became envious and jealous of him. It's time for the second lesson. She asked the students to divide into groups consisting of 2 people. Noir and Emma cannot train together because they have known each other for a long time, and this is contrary to the rules. So Maria chose Noir in order to train with him, but during the training she lost consciousness and collapsed because of the curse. He wants to help her, but it takes 8,000 life points, so the sage asked how to collect a lot of points, but the way is impossible. He had a headache again, so he did the same with Emma in front of the students. The teacher felt angry and punished him. Then he went to Lola in order to find a way to solve the curse on Maria. And actually she knew a priestess who could cast out curses, so she went to her. Meanwhile Noir went to his teacher for advice. She told him that it is difficult to collect 10,000 life points in a week, so she gave him a skill. This skill will make him more civil with that things. And actually when he went to meet Emma in the city, surprises were happening to him a lot, so he adjusted to this skill. A few moments later Lola came with the priestess. This girl's name is Luna Hila, a priestess who can expel evil curses. They went to one of the restaurants. He told her about the curse of Maria, but she said that she could not expel that curse. Noir used the skill of discovery, and indeed she could not because her age would decrease. But then she agreed, because her mother continued to treat people until she died. Suddenly they heard an explosion. They went there and found a seriously injured person. Luna treated him but collapsed. Then Emma and Lola, they found out Luna's weak point, so I feel sad and pity for her. Then Noir has found a solution to this problem. He will adjust Luna's skill, but this will cost him 10,000 life points, so he will change the lack of age to the lack of funds, and now Luna has to earn some money in order to treat Maria. There is a competition supervised by a nobleman. Women perform on stage. Only beautiful girls will win, and the prize is 1 million. But the fans are very envious of women, so it will be very difficult to win. The girls in Noir went to this competition in order to win the reward. The competition has started. The girls are scared because all the girls who participated before them have lost and were humiliated by the crowd, except for the girls who came from the Lamu Guild. They got a good rating. Now it was the turn of the Noir team. The first was Emma. She was afraid of the reaction of the fans, but she managed to win their love. Also, Luna and Lola managed to win the love of the fans. The audience was really crazy. The girls became happy that they won the contest. But this is the beginning. They have to perform several scenarios in order to win. They really managed to perform everything as required. The fans went crazy. The nobleman lost his mind from the things he saw. And so Noir and the rest of the girls managed to earn 1 million of money, so he immediately went to Maria's palace. But when they arrived, they found the maid crying in front of the door. She told them that Maria was going to die. The reason behind the curse of Maria is an ancient magician who was defeated by Maria's ancestors. But the curse did not affect anyone in the family. The curse only affected Maria. She was suffering, and also her parents feel sad because they lost hope. But when they went to them, they felt reassured. She kissed Noir because he did the impossible for her. And indeed Luna knocked out the curse with difficulty, and so they managed to save Maria from death. But the girls began to be jealous because Maria became in love with him. The next day he went home. He got 100 million because he saved Maria. His father wants to take the money in order to spend it in the amusement park, but Noir wants to open a store in which he sells rare items that he will bring from the maze. And he actually went there after he met with the teacher Olivia. She gave him some skills that should be used in emergency cases. He went to the 5th floor, but suddenly he finds a big lion, so Noir used the light skill and was also about to escape using teleportation. But this lion spoke and asked him not to be afraid. This lion's name is Toromaru. He asked Noir to look for his friend. His friend's name is Vachel and he is an elf. When they reached the 6th floor, Vachel asked the lion to wait, and indeed Toromaru had been waiting for him for 350 years. So Noir went to the 6th floor and found it full of zombies. Then he found Vachel, but he had turned into a zombie, so he used a skill to return it like the previous one and actually succeeded in it. He went to meet the lion but asked him to part because other races are not allowed to live in the elven country. Toromaru began to cry over the parting of his friend, but Noro came to him and told him, let's become friends, and also offered him to live in his house. And indeed they became friends, and he went home accompanied by Noir. Noir's father was scared of him but was reassured when he knew that he was not biting. Alice came and was impressed with the lion. She started playing with the rose on his head, but the lion started screaming because it is his weak point. Hello, Anadark is here. Today we will continue to recap this anime, which is called The Hidden Only I Can Enter. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the Anadark channel, and let's go. Earlier, we saw the hero named Noir Stardia inside the place called Dungeon. There he met a giant lion, and when he helped him they became friends, and he actually took him home in order to guard the store that he will open soon. He decided to open a store selling magic tools and things that he gets from Dungeon, all because of the princess, because she gave him a reward of up to 100 million gold pieces, because he helped her to get rid of the curse, so he will open a big store with that money. The students have gone to the academy. The teacher said that the exam period will start soon, so the students have to collect several magic materials. The problem is that these materials are very difficult and rare, means they have to fight legendary monsters such as dragons. She said they must score 10,000 points on the exams, or they will undergo supplementary classes every day during the summer holidays. So Noir and Emma came up with a way to collect magic items. She was excited and said she wanted to fight a big dragon. He said they should go to a suitable place for this task because dragons live in unknown places. So they went to the Adventurers Guild in order to consult Lola on a suitable place, but when they arrived at the guild, they found Lola fighting with a strange girl. Her name is Sarah. She stole all the adventurers who deal with Lola through seduction and cunning and insidious methods. Then Sarah set up a competition with Lola. The competition is about adventurers and completing missions. If Sarah wins, she will take Noir. Poor Lola is nervous because Sarah has many adventurers working under her orders. So Noir decided to help her with that. He said that he wants to take first-class missions because he needs magic materials for the test. She became happy with that. Also Emma and Lola will help her defeat Sarah. And they actually went to many difficult and dangerous tasks, after which they decided to defeat a giant dragon. But defeating it is difficult because Lola knows some information about him. Noir began to draw a plan in order to defeat that dragon. He said that he was going to make a powerful trap, and also they went to the store in order to buy some magic weapons. They bought some magic spears. Noir also collected life points from the girls, and also created a skill in order to help him fight the dragon. After all this, they headed to the place of the dragon. While entering the area, they noticed a warning sign. But who cares about her? Then he used the sage skill in order to find out the location of the dragon. The sage told him, there is a dragon 665 meters away on the left. After using the skill, he kissed Emma in order to get rid of a severe headache. But Lona was shocked by this happening, so he said it's a long story. Then they set up a trap. A trap is a big hole filled with long spears. And now they have to lure the dragon towards this trap. So Noir went to the cave where the dragon dwells, and actually he was sleeping, so he hit him with stones. The dragon woke up. Noir ran away in order to lure him into the trap. And actually the dragon started running after him. He was about to eliminate him, then he started attacking him with giant stones, but Noir dodged the blows, and actually the plan was going perfectly. The dragon approached the place and actually fell into the trap. Then they started attacking it with spears, and indeed after several attacks they managed to overthrow this giant dragon. But Noir collapsed due to the dragon's last attack, so Lona cured him with this gun. Then they returned to the guild. Everyone was shocked by this dragon. Some adventurers, even this was the first time they had seen this kind of dragons. Lola's points also increased, but still Sarah's points increased more than Lola's points. She had the seduction skill, so adventurers do tasks for her with all the effort. Their forms became like zombies because of work, so she rewarded them. Lola also took Noir to one of the rooms. She rewarded Noir for the task he accomplished and also gave him a kiss. The next day he went to his favorite place. He asked his teacher where he could find very rare magical items, which an ordinary mid-level adventurer or even a professional would not be able to get. She said that the 7th floor might be the right place, so he went. But on the way he found a lot of monsters and zombies, so he defeated them, and he actually got to the 7th floor. But he was shocked. He found a place that resembles the real world. There is a sky and sun, trees and animals. What exactly is happening here? Then he went to explore this strange world, but he found a girl. This girl's name is Dryade and her level is 55. He was shocked because this girl looks like another girl he knew. Maybe that girl is Emma when she was little. Importantly, she is begging him to save her because she is going to die very soon. In fact, this girl is a mighty tree inside this forest. He was shocked, but he remembered the lessons he was taking at the academy. Actually, Dryad is the soul of one of the trees. She said that she knew everything happening in the forest, and also she knew the power of Noir, so she wanted him to help her. He wants to know the problem, so she said that there is something scary sucking her body. He misunderstood because Dryad described the problem in a strange way. She started explaining to him about it and said that there was an evil monster draining her life energy. She couldn't do anything because her real body couldn't move or resist, and she also asked him to call her Dory-chan only. Then she smiled and asked him for help again. In return, she will give him a great treasure, and also she will take him to the place where he will find the way to the 8th floor. He wants that, so he said he wanted to see this monster first. And they actually went to the place of the mighty tree. The monster was a giant bee. He evaluated its level, but he is shocked because this bee is level 256. He said that he was sorry that he couldn't fight a monster 4 times stronger than him. It's impossible. She collapsed because the bee had absorbed some of her life energy. She said she would be fine, but her body was shaking from weakness. He became angry and frustrated because he wanted to save her, but he couldn't. But then he said he was going to help her, so she gave him a kiss and also cleaned the blood on his mouth, and as a result, his life score suddenly skyrocketed. Then he went to his teacher in order for her to give him a way to defeat that bee. She started thinking, but then she asked him to withdraw from this matter. But he said he has to save her because that girl looks like his girlfriend, and also she is going to die. Finally, she agreed to give him away. He returned to the 7th floor. Then he went to the place where the wolves gather. He hit the wolves with stones in order to lure them towards the beehive in order to create enmity between the monsters. And actually, the wolves started running after him. But when he arrived and found that bee sucking on the tree, the girl collapsed because she was going to die. So he got angry and screamed at the top of his voice. Then he stopped the bee. He began to fight her, but she was very strong and fast. Magic attacks never affected her. Then the wolves formed a circle around him. He became in danger and did not know what to do, but he discovered a plan. He created a new skill and made the wolves attack the bee. But the bee managed to eliminate them. Then he formed a spell, which is water containing electricity, and doing this spell was able to defeat this bee. She thanked him and also gave him some very rare tools. These tools there is no like in the outside world. Then she becomes sad because Noir will leave quickly. She wants him to stay with her longer, but he promised her that he will come back again with something delicious from his world. Days later, the competition between Lola and Sarah came, and this time it was Lola who won the test because her points are slightly more than Sarah. She started to feel sad, so he went to her to comfort her, but she hugged him and also gave him a piece of paper. This paper says Sarah's home address. So Lola became very angry because Sarah was trying to steal Noir from her. The next day, Noir and Emma are in the public park. They are talking about this magic tool that Noir got from that tax girl. She tried it out by putting it in her mouth, and she actually got 2 new skills. But she was feeling depressed, so he asked her why. She said there was a dance tonight for the nobles and she wanted him to go with her. He didn't like it, so she got sad and said she was going to do the dance with other boys. So he got jealous and said he was going to go to this party with her. But she sadly said that he didn't care about her, and she also said that if an evil person came and kidnapped her and did bad things to her, he would think that she was just a bad girl. Then she called him a fool and quickly left. Noir does not understand what is happening, because Emma suddenly began to behave in such a strange way. Then he came home, but he found his mother and sister screaming, and his father was also screaming and doing some handkerchiefs. He said that he could not find an empty store in order to start selling magic items, and that's because they are not from the noble class. He went to him and said that he was basically an unreliable father in anything, after which he asked him to give him fancy clothes for the party he was going to with Emma. Indeed, his father had suitable clothes, but when he brought them, everyone was shocked because these clothes are very old and dirty. He was feeling desperate from his father, so he decided to buy new clothes because this is the only solution. And actually he did it and went to the party. There he met Emma's father. He said that something strange was going to happen tonight. It's about the girl Emma. He was going to tell him about it, but Emma comes. And indeed she was very beautiful. After a few moments a person enters who is clearly the commander of the guards guarding the noble family. He said that he received a report about the phantom thief. Everyone was getting nervous, so he asked them not to worry because he summoned several powerful adventurers from the Lamu Guild. So Noir wanted to make sure his words were correct, but he was shocked. This little girl, her level is above 100. The guard said that the thief will come in order to steal the mermaid's tear, but he will not be able to because the security on them will be tightened. Then he asked everyone to enjoy the party and he went. Things returned to normal, but Emma was feeling scared and nervous. She is hiding something serious from Noir. Then one of her friends came. His name is Mike and he belongs to a noble family. He wanted to date Emma for a long time, so he came to her to know her answer. She of course rejected this thing. Then he got to know Noir, but then Mike suggested doing a little competition with Noir. The one who will dance well with Emma is better than the other. He will date Emma, and it is the audience that will determine the winner. She doesn't want to, but Noir agrees and says he has a plan. They started dancing and Mike was very skilled and everyone applauded him because of his exceptional dancing skills. Then it was Noir's turn. He never knows dancing, but he quickly made a dancing skill using creativity skill. He went to Emma, but he was feeling very nervous, so she asked him to concentrate. And indeed he was good at dancing in a professional way. Everyone was shocked by his dancing skills. And so he has won Emma's heart. Then he wanted to kiss her, but suddenly the power goes out and also a girl appears who was saying that she is the ghost thief. She said that she came in order to take the mermaid's tear and the noble Emma. And she did kidnap her quickly. He wanted to save her, but he was beaten and fell to the ground. Seconds later the lights come back on again. The guard quickly went in order to throw a fresh on the jewel, but he found it in its place. But the real ghost thief suddenly comes and steals that jewel. The adventurers decided to catch up with them, so Noir asked a girl named Layla to let him go with them. She was initially reluctant, but she agreed. They caught up with this masked girl. They started attacking her, but she was very strong. She is fast and she can summon one of the legendary monsters called the Phoenix. But after a few moments Noir discovered her weakness, which is the inability to withstand the lightning spell, so he began to attack her. But she always moves away on the scale of the spell. He must save Emma. So he used gravity magic to slow her down, and Layla actually delivered the knockout blow, and that's how they managed to defeat her. But suddenly someone from the adventurers comes. He said that he managed to capture the phantom and handed it over to the guards. But Norn noticed something strange in this person. This adventurer approached Norn and hit him in the stomach, then used the magic of controlling the Earth's gravity, and also kidnapped Emma, and this person is the other half of the phantom thief Phantom. He wants to marry Emma. He said he fell in love with her when he first saw her in the city. So Norn got angry and attacked him, but to no avail. But suddenly Emma slapped him. At that moment Noir came and hit him on the face and knocked him down. Then he gave her a kiss and they returned to the party. And actually a few days later he managed to find a place in order to open the store at a cheap price, too, thanks to the help of his noble friends. The next day, while studying at the academy, the teacher said that there was a foreign girl from another school who was going to join this academy. The surprise is that this girl is Layla, who helped Noir last night. The boys fell in love with her and wanted her to beat them. The important thing is, she sat next to Noir and Emma, so the other boys became jealous of Noir because he always attracts the attention of all the pretty girls. Then they went to the hot springs, but on the way, the boys started thinking about other things like spying and surveillance, so Noir asked Emma not to go to the hot springs because of the boys' mentality. She said that she didn't mind if someone saw her, but she was joking. The girls also said that Noir would protect them, of course, from boys who would embezzle the freshness. All the girls have a lot of confidence in Noir, so now he is in trouble because he doesn't know how he will prevent all these people. The way was long, so everyone took a short break. The teacher said that the students should not neglect the training. But one of the boys came and told her that he would defeat anyone who would attack them because he was from the elite. But she got angry and dropped him to the ground. She said that she had met many self-confident people when she was a mercenary, but they could not hold out much because they had died. She said that there are many dangerous monsters in these mountains, so students should prepare for any sudden attack. And actually Noir and the girls have planned a strategy, but the rest of the boys don't care. They just wait for the hot springs in order to watch the fish. Then they continued to advance towards the springs, but on the way they found a little fairy. She said that she wanted to help them quickly get through a shortcut. Noir feels strange about this creature. He knows that these species always deceive humans, but he is not sure about this information. And actually the students walked after this fairy. They got inside a cave, but the distance was far. He became suspicious about it, so he pulled out his sword. She asked him to put it away because she was afraid. But then they arrived at a strange place full of holes. He asked everyone to stop because he thinks that monsters are hiding there. The fairy said that the place was safe and there was nothing, but he said that this fairy could control monsters like dolls. And actually after a few moments, many lizard creatures came out of those vents. The boys attacked because they wanted to steal the freshness. The girls also attacked because they wanted to bathe in the springs, and they actually defeated the enemies. Then they finally got to the hot springs. The girls were going to take a shower first, but they were afraid of the boys, so the boys said they wouldn't do something bad like stealing fresh, and the girls actually felt reassured, so they went. But all of a sudden the kids are acting like crazy. They're excited because they're going to steal the fresh. And actually after a few moments they prepared masks. One of the boys presented a mask to Noir in order to participate with them in this great event. But Noir was feeling nervous and then he remembered the girl's words. so he said that he would never participate in something like this. So everyone started running after him in order to arrest him because he is a traitor. But suddenly the teacher comes and made an earthen wall in order to stop the students. He said that he was trying to stop the boys and save the girls. But the boys kept running towards the hot springs, so the teacher and Noir started attacking them, and they actually managed to defeat them and stop them. But this student came and fought the teacher. He was very strong. Then he turned into a huge form. His physical and magical strength increased in an unnatural way. In fact, he drank one of the magic drugs in order to increase his strength, in order to be able to reach the springs and embezzle the freshness. He asked Noir to come with him because he is a man, and indeed he was thinking about this because he is a man after all. But then he completely rejected this negative idea. He said that he would not allow something like this to happen. He got into a fight with him, but this student was very strong, so Noir made a skill that weakens the body and gave this skill to him, and he actually managed to overcome this person. But suddenly he started laughing and said that the participant had won, and indeed one of the students ran quickly towards the springs. Noir went after him in order to stop him, but he was too fast. So he gave him more weight in order to slow down, but this person does not give up and actually jumped into the springs. Also Noir has fallen. But the place is empty, there is no girl. Suddenly, the girls showed up. Actually, the teacher told them about the boys, so the girls delayed the shower. But Noir knocked out because his life points are only 200 because of the fight. But when he got up and found himself in the springs, the teacher put a towel over his eyes. She said she would let him take a shower here because he protected the girls from the rest of the students. And so his life points had skyrocketed to over 10,000 points that night. A few days after the store opened, he brought the girls to evaluate the products. They chose to try a kind of slime that has a golden color. The girls tried the taste and this slime was delicious. Everyone was wondering about the name of the store, so he said that they had a problem choosing the name. But it was the Lion Torah who helped them choose a suitable name for the store. The name is Stardian Rarities. The next day the store was full of customers because they promoted it and posted several posters all over the city. The father was crying because of happiness. Also, Noir was happy with all the achievements he achieved. He is the son of a poor nobleman, but nevertheless he managed to reach several impossible things. He said that all this is thanks to his teacher Olivia servant. So he went to her in order to thank her for everything, but she was joking with him in a provocative way, because he said that he wanted to express his thanks by freeing her from the shackles. And he actually used the sage skill in order to figure out a way to free the teacher from the restrictions. The sage told him that he should go to the 15th floor, there he would find the answer. And he actually went there, but on the way he found a sign with several options. The person who got here must follow the rules. If the person is alone, he must walk route number 1. If there is another person with him, he must walk in the second direction. He is alone, so he went in the first direction, but he found a very dangerous bridge, and also the rules say that he should not use skills. So he went back to the city, then he went to Emma in order to tell her everything, and he did it, and now she knows that he has to save the teacher. She went with him there. This time he chose the second direction. Then he found a door. He told her that maybe there is a monster in this room, so they should get ready. They entered the room, but it was empty. But moments later, a lot of little goblins are showing up everywhere. They asked Noir and Emma to throw their weapons, and they did. This goblin wants some food, so Noir fulfilled the request. Now the goblin wants Emma to imitate the pig's voice, and she did. Then Noir gave them more biscuits, but this time he put poison in it, and the goblins actually fell to the ground. Then they went to the 15th floor, and they actually found the teacher there. Emma edited it. But they discovered something strange. He found out that this is not the teacher, these are the restrictions. She made a copy of Olivia. Then they started fighting her, but she was very strong. So they went to the real teacher in order to find out her weak point. Olivia was jealous of Emma, so she did not want to answer this question. He returned to the store but found Lola and Lona, so they helped him raise his life points. The next day he goes to the library in order to find out his teacher's weakness, and he actually finds her. There is an old priestess who managed to torture Olivia with a skill called sacrifice. So he decided to make this skill, but when he was walking through the streets of the city he found this fake teacher. She said she had to eliminate everyone who had entered the 15th floor, but she wonders why he would want to save his teacher to such an extent. He said that she has been tied up for 200 years, and also she has helped him, so he will save her. She said that she has always been torturing Olivia periodically for 200 years. So he got very angry. He made a sacrifice skill and actually attacked. But the copy was so strong, she managed to damage him and knock him to the ground. Meanwhile, Olivia knew all the details that are happening in the fight. She does not want Noir to die and leave her alone. And that's because of the sad past. 200 years ago, she was sitting in one of the bars having fun, but at that time a guy comes along who looks a lot like Noir. This young man asked Olivia to teach him to fight, but she said that it was very annoying and refused the request. But he does not give up because he repeated the request from her hundreds of times. But one day she decided to give him a chance. She asked him to attack her now, but his attack was weak, so she lost hope in his abilities and said that he would never be able to become an adventurer. But this boy never gives up, and one time inside the bar he asked her how to fight a goblin. She told him to target the eye area while facing the iron goblin. Days later, she went to the bar, but the waiter told her that something had happened to that boy. She went to him, but he was dead. He protected one of the girls from the attack of an iron goblin, and he actually targeted his eyes in order to protect the girl. She felt very sad and regretted that she was refusing to teach him. After that incident, she lived alone, chained for 200 years. But one day, another boy came who looked like him, and he was Noir, so she was always helping him. In the fight, the version was so strong, she was about to deliver the knockout blow, but Emma came and stopped her. Also, the rest of the girls have come for help and defeat this evil version. Everyone started attacking her hard, but she was smart. She defeated Emma and Lola. Then Noir adjusted the power of her sword. He removed the lightning from it. So Layla attacked her using the devil's fist, and the sword actually broke. But Olivia attacked her with the same magic. And now Layla is badly injured and Lona has to treat her. But Lona collapsed because she doesn't have enough energy. Now all the girls have been defeated and they can't fight. He continued to fight, but to no avail. She removed all the important skills. He hit her, but she reversed the attack. Then she asked him to give up because he could not defeat her. But he doesn't want to give up because he wants to save his teacher, and he actually used the skill of sacrifice, but this time he used it with all his strength. But to no avail. She knocks him to the ground and forms a fire spell in order to eliminate Noir. He gave up because he didn't know what to do, but when he remembered his friends, he became stronger, and he actually invalidated this spell. Then he attacked her and finally managed to eliminate her. He collapsed, so the girls gave him some life points. The very next day, in the evening, he went to meet his teacher. He started crying because he was glad that she was finally free from the pain. She also thanked him and also hugged him in a respectful way. And so the story ends. If you like this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Anadark channel. I'll see you next time in a new recap.